There are many people that's been getting caught up with this Trump terror attack at the U.S. Capitol. There are people that have been police officers, firefighters, military, retired military, etc. Well, this story is actually his home. This one is actually out of Houston. Now, you have a Houston police officer. His name is Tam Dinh Pham. Now, he's a police officer that's been on the force for 18 years. Didn't have any disciplinary action against him at all, but he was found out to be in the U.S. Capitol, actually. Now, he is a Vietnamese man. He is not a Mzungu. He's Vietnamese. Now, what strikes me as interesting is that Vietnamese came over here as refugees, a lot of them from the Vietnam War. I actually remember when a lot of Vietnamese came to our neighborhood in Port Arthur back in the day. And I remember they had got a house across the street from us, actually. And they had at least 10 families in that house. And I would see what they would end up doing because they were getting subsidies and money from the U.S. government to start their businesses. Many of them were buying shrimp boats, and many of them start shrimping. Many of them had started buying convenience stores with money given to them by the U.S. government. Black folks don't get anything like that to start our businesses. We fight like hell. Black people have a hard time getting a PPP loan that's in business, or EIDL if you don't know, right? Now, you can get those if you do the research and apply the paperwork. Black folks, you do need to go after those loans. Matter of fact, I need to call somebody and tell them they need to go get them a loan. But anyway, because, they said they missed out the first time. But these people, one by one was moving out that house. I remember as a child, because actually I was playing with some of the kids that was from over there, right? And until the one family, I guess, that bought the house originally, they stayed there. So many of them got their businesses off the ground. They didn't really go looking for work. They actually want to start businesses. But when you're getting capital from the U.S. government, why not start a business? So, I've never had any bad interactions personally with Vietnamese people. I was always real cool with Vietnamese people. Even still cool with a lot of them to this day that I know personally. So when I saw this, I thought this was very interesting. But then as I did some research, it said a lot of, people within that community actually supported Trump. Now, what you have is you have these different groups that come into this country as refugees and as immigrants. They don't want to take a stand against white supremacy. They actually want to go along with white supremacy because I think in their minds, they rather side white supremacy because they appreciate white supremacy for letting them come in, even though it wasn't white supremacy that let you in this country. Let me make sure to correct that. It was black people that got that immigration bill signed. It wasn't them. They did not want nobody in this country but their own. Even Donald Trump said he didn't want those people south of the border coming over here. He didn't want no Africans coming over here. He said he wanted people from Norway to come over here. In other words, he wants more white immigrants to come into this country. And people in Norway said, I don't want to come over here. Your healthcare system sucks. We get free healthcare in Norway. Our recidivism rate is very, very low here. Like basically in their prison system in Norway, they actually really rehabilitate their prisoners. And then when they get out, they can get jobs. In America, you go to prison, you come out, you can't get a job a lot of times, unless you start your own business. They make it hard for you. That's why people go back the rate's so high. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, even other European countries, look at America as barbarian in a lot of ways. I mean, they talk about the racism is off the charts here. I'm not saying they don't have racists in European countries, but from my research, they don't have it as much as this place do. This place was built off of that. So a lot of those places like this say, we don't want no part of y'all. They say, we don't want to come over there. Europeans isn't begging to come to this country. What they're not. They're fine where they're at. And I agree with them. They should build their own European countries. But when it comes to this guy here, okay, if he had these feelings, why didn't he just go back to Vietnam? Vietnam has turned itself around. I've talked to someone that went to Vietnam recently. They said they had a good time in Vietnam. Said it was very inexpensive. They didn't have no problems with anybody in Vietnam. So if Vietnam isn't the same, why don't he just, he don't like black folk or whatever else he don't like, why don't he just go back to Vietnam? I don't think they'll stop him from going back to his homeland. No issues and no problems. But he's going to see. He's going to see. And the chief of police here, Art Acevedo, said that he's going to have some federal charges put on him too. So you silly. You come over, your people come over here as refugees, and then you're going to side with the worst of American society. Now, they say he traveled by himself. He didn't go with a family or nobody else. The police union was supportive of him resigning, which he did resign, right? And the HPD is assisting the federal government in his investigation. And you threw away your 18-year career in law enforcement and your pension. And I guess he still get his pension, but what good is a pension? You're locked up in federal jail, right? You threw all that away, and for what? Let me tell you something, Mr. Pham. You're gonna see what charges you're gonna get. You're not gonna get those slap on the wrist charges those white buddies of yours got or are going to get. Oh no, you're gonna get hit with the harsher charges. You're going to see. You're going to see. You're just going to see real quick that you're Vietnamese. You're not one of them. And you'll find out the hard way. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the situation, with this former now HPD cop that went up there to the U.S. Capitol with the MAGA terrorists. Like I said, let me tell you something. Some of y'all in these immigrant groups that come over here, you think you know America. You really think you know what you're getting yourself involved with. And you're going to find out the hard way. My thing is, don't come to black folk when you get in the middle of it with these people. Don't come this way. Because understand something. When they say make America great again, it doesn't mean you. It doesn't mean you. So I don't know why you think you're going to be included in that, but you'll find out.